At Atlassian, we hire a lot of technology workers. So that's everything from software developers, product managers, UX designers, or user experience designers. We really have world-class talent here in Australia, there's no doubt about it. But in the volumes that we need for the growing industry, we do need to look overseas, particularly in the short term. For us, it's about finding where that talent is in the world, and then what it is about Australia that we can use to attract them to want to move themselves and their families here.
Australia is always losing talent, but it's always gaining it as well. There's an enormous global churn going on. Australia is one of the most globalised societies on earth when it comes to the mobility of our people. At any one time, there are 1 million Australians abroad, and people lament that. They think, wow, that's a loss of future skills for the country. But in fact, those are people who are getting experience, who are developing their skills further in a different environment, who are experiencing a cross-cultural context, and they come back. 90% of Australians who go abroad come back. Most of the jobs that we currently experience are not going to exist in 10 or 15 years' time. They're going to change, they're going to be replaced, they're going to be offshored, automated, devalued by low-cost competition, and we shouldn't, however, be too pessimistic about our chances in that context, but we do have to take some actions ourselves to invest in the jobs of the future. And the jobs of the future are going to be a combination of digital and analytical skills, absolutely essential, but also broader boundary crossing skills, critical thinking, creative problem solving. We can't do one without the other. And those are the jobs that will be the key to our competitive advantage in the years ahead, as they will be for other economies. So we have to decide which are the areas in Australia that we can genuinely build creative and competitive capability. Some of those areas we can predict, some of those areas we can only imagine.
Knowing that, as we've just heard now, the whole education job scenario is going to massively change over the next few years. And even in my situation, where I'm at the baby boomer end, my whole career has seen different trajectories, which is different from what my parents' generation always thought about. So the cultural aspect of what Australia needs to focus on, as far as I can see, is to celebrate entrepreneurialism, to focus on making people aware of what actually exists at the moment in Australia in terms of innovation. For example, when I heard that Data 61 employs over 650 PhDs, blew my mind. We've got over 250 multinationals over here. Australia is an attractive destination for anybody who wants to come and live, from a family perspective, from a weather perspective, from a safety perspective. It's a long way from the rest of the world, which is a bit of a challenge, but then that also gives us our unique character.
I think having a distinct tech precinct, a place where there's that critical mass or density of tech minds, tech companies, will be hugely advantageous to us, particularly from a recruiting perspective. When we think about the density of companies, it's not just having lots of startups together, but it's also high growth companies like Atlassian, larger corporations with R&D hubs, also venture capitalists and incubators as well. I think there's a lot to say for having a distinct place where all of those like-minded people can come together and bounce ideas off each other. I don't see that in Australia right now, so I'd love to see an area in the future that we can really call, the tech precinct of Sydney.
And the attributes that I think are important are resilience, creativity, and intellectual curiosity. Resilience, the ability to continue to drive through adversity. Curiosity, to always have that desire for lifelong learning, to figure out what's next. And then creativity, we're moving into a world now where design is particularly important. Technology is accelerating at a tremendous pace, but in the end, humans are at the center of everything, and to have that empathy and to design an experience that's going to be compelling is going to be particularly important.
Anybody that's going through a transformation in their career or their life, or students graduating today, the message is really the same thing. Looking at what you're actually good at and taking it out of the discipline, like taking it out of the industry silo that you currently view that skill set. So for example, somebody that's working in mining probably has skills in engineering. They probably have really great math skills. They might have really great problem solving skills. Those things are actually applicable outside of mining. They're actually applicable in education, they're applicable in finance, they're applicable in creative careers as well. So it's actually about stop saying what your job is and what the role is, and looking at the skill set that you have within that and going, well, what else can I mash that up with, and what other skills can I merge that with, and see what other industries it can take me into. And when you start doing that, you actually have a much broader career opportunity and a career perspective, which I think is really exciting.
We should be celebrating people like David Gonski, for example. We should be celebrating the Atlassian guys. And I think that once we start doing that, and once we focus on teaching kids from an early age that you don't have to just be a success at sport, you can focus on things that are involving STEM, you can focus on things that are involving making money, for want of a better expression, then I think we're going to be an even better and an even luckier country.